Welcome to Worlds Collide this week with a new episode. This is the podcast where I talk to people who moved abroad. I am your host, Victoria. And in today's episode, my guest is Rachel from Paris in France, obviously. And she moved to DC. And so, we talk about why she decided to move to DC. And a lot of times, clichés come up. I don't know. Parisian, French clichés. And then we also talk about her changing careers while she was waiting for a work permit in the US. And then of course we talk about making friends, differences, and how she likes living in DC versus in Paris. So here's the conversation. And it's a nice one. So here it is. Hey.
Hello.
Rachel.
Hi.
Hello. How are you today?
I'm doing fine, thanks. What about you?
I'm doing good. Thank you for participating on my podcast.
Well, thank you for having me.
Yes. So where are you from?
I'm originally from France, and more specifically, I come from the western part of France, which is called Brittany. So if you see Normandy, it's just below Normandy.
Okay. And now you live in the US.
Right. I arrived in the US in 2021.
Oh, so you're kind of still newish?
Yeah, right?
I'm
a baby.
Yeah. So, and where in the US are you now?
I live very close to DC, just 20 minutes from DC. So I'm in Northern Virginia.
Okay. Oh, okay. And why did you move there?
Love.
Okay.
So cliche, right?
Yeah, cliche, but yay. Okay. So I guess your husband is American?
That's right. My husband was actually born in Mexico, but he lived most of his life in the States. And we met in Ireland when we were students.
Okay.
And then he stayed in Ireland. I went back to France. He came with me to France. And then he had an opportunity just to go back to the States because it was a really good job. And I mean, his job was great for a long time because he could travel a lot. And so he would come to Europe. And as an American, when you're in Europe, nothing is too far. So he...
No, everything's close.
Yeah, right? So he could always come and visit me. And so for a long time, I lived in Paris. So it was easy for him. If he was in Vienna, he would just either take a plane or take a train. And just, it was we were never far from each other, actually.
Yeah.
And I would come and see him in the States twice a year.
Okay.
And over the summer, like I could spend 7 weeks in the States over the summer. So...
Okay.
So
that's a long time.
Yeah, that's a long time. So we never had the feeling that we were really far away or that we just didn't really see each other. And then when pandemic hit, everything changed. And I think pandemic changed the lives of so many people. And for us, it was a dramatic change because he couldn't travel anymore.
Right. He had, and you could not visit the
and
US
I couldn't
either.
visit the US either. And so for nearly a year, we couldn't see each other. And so of course it was really hard. And so we started thinking, we have to make a change. So he was thinking, maybe I could come to France. Maybe I could change jobs. And but we were just thinking about it.
And by the time you were thinking about it, was the travel ban still going on?
The travel ban was still going on. However, he managed to come and see me. It was super complicated. We had to file in forms with the French embassy. It was a huge file, around 70 pages long.
Oh, wow.
And he did the whole thing. and so he could come and see me. But we were thinking something has to change, and then the summer of 2021, I could finally come and see him in the States.
Mm-hmm.
And a few days before going back, I was just starting to be extremely anxious because I knew it was going to be hard just to see each other. And it was the same with him. And we had been together for a really long time. I'm not a spring chicken anymore.
Yeah. Okay. So how long have you been together then?
It's been 20
By that
years.
time?
Oh, it was like,
Oh, wow.
right?
Yeah, okay.
Right.
Yeah, long time.
Long time.
Wow. 2 decades. Crazy.
Yeah, right? Yeah. And so we were watching television, like something cheesy. And then he said, "Oh, we have to get married. I'm sick of this."
It's the easiest way.
Yeah, let's just get married. Yeah. You're not into weddings. I'm not into weddings. Whatever. Let's do something real small and let's do it. And I looked at him and I was like, I have an apartment in Paris. I have a job. Like, I have everything there. And he said, "Don't worry. We'll take care of it. We'll call friends. Whatever." Thank God I had a friend who had my keys.
Okay, so you didn't even go back?
I did not.
Okay.
So this was just, what is going to happen?
It was just like,
it
was just like, hey, we're gonna go to the courthouse tomorrow, kind of thing?
You know what? Pretty much. You know what we did? Because I was freaking out. And so he was like, wait, we have to stay focused. I have a friend and we've been friends for a long time. She's on Facebook. She's a lawyer. And I think she's into immigration law. Let me contact her right away. And let's see if what we're doing is completely crazy. And if it is, then, we'll try to find another solution. So we called her. And she said, "Yay! Congratulations! Perfect. Don't go back. I can tell you exactly what you should do."
Okay.
And then I was thinking, oh my gosh, we are really doing this. We are really doing this. And then, then we went to the court and we said, "Hey, we'd like to get married." And the dude was like, "Okay, cool, great. Yeah, well, this is what you have to do." And I was just looking at the gun. I was like, "These are all the papers we need?" "Yeah, basically nothing." And I was just thinking, that is so weird. Like, it would be so different in France. And we decided to get married. Like, he loves reading. I love reading. And there's this tiny secondhand bookstore where we live. And I was like, maybe it would be so cool, like, if we could get married inside that bookstore.
Oh, that is so cute.
Yeah. And you know what? He said, "Honey, this is America. Let's go and ask." And I was like, "Are you serious?" We went, we asked, and they said, "No probs. Give us the day, give us the time, and we'll do it." And
then they closed the bookstore for you?
Yeah. No probs.
Nice.
And so I was thinking, okay, 15th of November, because we met on the 15th of June. So the 15th was, something that made sense. And so, 15th of November, which was a Monday. And we decided not to tell anyone.
Okay.
Just 2 friends that we invited on that very same day just to go and hang out. And they thought that they were going to go and see some of my paintings that were being exhibited.
Okay.
And because it was like, it was just 2 doors down. And I said, no. It's just, let's just go to that little bookstore. And they were just thinking, what the hell's going on? And then they found out.
And they were so surprised?
Yeah, they were super surprised. And then we, the lady that married us said, well, if it lasts 10 minutes, it's $75. If it lasts 35 minutes, it's, I don't remember how many dollars, whatever. And I said, no, we've been together for a long time. 10 minutes is fine.
Okay.
And then we went to a restaurant to have a burger.
Okay. Yeah, very cliche.
Very cliche.
Very American, yes.
And so that was on Monday. And on Saturday night, we invited some of our friends. We didn't tell them anything. We invited them to an Irish pub because, it made sense because we met in Ireland and we like that pub. It's, nothing much to write home about, but it's nice and cozy. And we told them, I think we told them when it was dessert. We said, oh, by the way, we got married.
Yeah. Surprise.
Yeah. And they were like, what?
Yeah, I bet. Yeah.
And that was it.
That's a great story.
Thank you. And you know what?
Yes.
We met thanks to cheese.
Because you both like cheese?
Because I am cheese addict. And so I used to study history, and he was in political science. And I had to film something with other students. And the film was really bad. And I had a lot of things to do, so I was really frustrated. So those other students said, hey, there's this weird guy who was in Belgium and he brought some cheese back. Like, you should come and hang out with us. You eat the cheese, you'll feel better. And then you go home afterwards. I was like, oh, damn, I'm going to have that cheese. And that's how we met. Because he was eating dinner in the kitchen. And I said, are you the weird guy that brought the cheese? And he said, yes.
Was the cheese any good?
It was okay. It was a camembert.
Okay.
And it was pretty stinky, which is good, in my book.
No, yeah. Okay. So he already had the 100 points.
Oh, yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
And then have you been back to France ever since you got married?
Yeah, a couple of times.
What happened to your stuff when your friends had the keys?
Well, she has the keys with her son. So, I have, it's Paris, so I have a shoebox, basically. It's 37 square meters, so around, I'd say 360 square feet, something like that.
Something like that.
I own it. So
okay.
So so my stuff is still there, and every time
so you own it.
Yeah,
okay.
Every time I go back, I just bring some stuff back. I've decided to just sell this year, and I have friends that have asked if they can have like a lamp or the sofa or chairs, and so I've just made lots of things, and I know what I want to bring back.
Oh, right.
It's not going to be a lot, obviously, but there's some stuff that I really want back. But yeah, so they look like my friends are making sure that everything's fine with my little shoebox.
Okay.
I've decided that I don't want to keep it.
Yeah, then you don't have to worry
about it,
right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
I understand.
And I also had to go back to France because in between my father passed.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Thank you. But that was an adventure because I didn't have my green card yet. And so I had to have advance parole. It's like a paper that says you can leave the US, you can go back to your home country, and then you can come back.
Right, that was like in 22 or something.
Yeah, exactly.
That I remember, yes.
And it was really hard to get. Not because of the American authorities, but because of the French authorities, especially one of my father's doctors that didn't want to send me a mail saying how bad my father was, because he said, that's against my principles, whatever. But I needed that paper just to give it to the immigration officer. So it took time. So in between, my father passed. And so I didn't have a chance to see him before he died, actually. So So when that
Yeah.
happened, I was thinking, yeah, I am really done with France. Like, I am
Okay.
done. And when I came back
Just
to the States, the immigration officer that I saw was asking me a few questions and wanted to know why I had to go back. So I told her the story,
mm-hmm.
and she was like, I'm so sorry to hear it, but welcome home. So I was
Okay.
like, oh, that's really
Yeah.
nice. You know, I don't have my
Yes.
green card yet, and I was authorized to go back to France. I'm authorized just to uh, be back in the States, and they are basically welcoming me back. So I thought that was
Yeah,
very
it's really
touching.
nice.
Yeah.
Yes. To go back to when you got married, was it hard for you to get a job?
To get a job,
Yeah, or did you work? I mean, or could you continue your job in France or?
when I was in France, I was a teacher. So I
Okay.
just resigned.
That's why you had the 7 months,
Exact
7 weeks
the
off
7 weeks, yeah.
in summer.
Yeah. So I resigned, and then I couldn't work for a long time. I mean, before I got my work permit, I just couldn't do anything.
It took a long
It
time. How
did.
long did you have to wait?
I think around 7 months.
Okay.
I'd say around 7 months.
That's a long time.
And I didn't want to go back
Yeah.
to teaching at all. I loved my students, but I
Uh-huh.
hated everything else. I really, really loved the students
Oh,
that I had,
okay.
but everything else was
Uh-huh.
just a pain. And I just wanted to do
You didn't
something
want.
else.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And I've always loved painting, and I've always painted. And
Mm-hmm.
when I would come over the summer, I would always be part of some artist groups here. And so I could exhibit and I could sell. And so
Mm-hmm.
naturally, I just decided, let's give it a go and let's see what I can do with it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've already had a few exhibitions, and I sold a few paintings, and then I decided I have to really go pro. And so
Okay.
about a month and a half ago, so in November
Uh-huh.
2023,
Okay.
I decided to open my Instagram account, and I'm working on my website.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, just to show my work more.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Okay. What is your Instagram?
It's Fine Arts RLF.
Okay, Fine Arts RLF. I will put it in the show
Oh,
notes here too.
thanks. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. So you now are a professional artist then?
Yeah, that's pretty much what I do. So I paint every day, and I because I want to have, like, you need to build a big portfolio,
I guess.
So I paint every day, and I'm trying just to find as many exhibitions as possible, and trying to be part of different artist groups, and yeah.
Yeah, that's an effort, I guess, right? I mean, that all comes from you.
Yeah,
It's not like
yeah,
just a regular
yeah,
job.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So it's time consuming, but it's also it's fun because I'm the one that
Yeah.
makes the rules. I'm the
Mm-hmm.
one that
True.
decides, what I should do today, what I shouldn't do, how I can grow
Mm-hmm.
this little business of mine, and where I want to
Mm-hmm.
go. So I find that really exhilarating.
Mm-hmm. It's also very kind of checks the box,
Yeah,
I mean, just cliche wise, because like Paris, such artistic city.
she left her life behind because
Oh
of love.
yes. And and now she's an artist in the US. Oh, have you heard of that French artist? Yeah.
I know, but you know what? I find that really interesting that all those, like, the cliches that people have of France, I just find them really funny, because when they talk about France,
Uh-huh.
I just could not recognize the country.
Right.
And
Yeah.
I'm just thinking,
So
what are you talking? Oh, is it France? Oh, okay. Or if I watch movies, and suddenly I just realize that the character that I'm watching is supposed to be French,
uh-huh.
most of the time I am puzzled.
Oh
And I am
really?
just thinking, really? Is that how they see us? especially men.
So it's, I mean, almost like either it's romantic or rude.
Yeah, pretty much.
Either that.
Yes.
And they all love cheese.
Yes.
Yes, and they always wear stripes.
Yes. Okay, well, listen, I love stripes.
Me too.
I'm from Brittany, so this is where we wear stripes pretty much every day. And, I mean, they're called Breton stripes, right? And then
they are. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, no, I like that cliche. Ooh la la, oh mademoiselle.
Yeah. Oh, you only eat baguette.
Yeah. And I guess I'm the only French person that don't really like baguettes.
Oh. Mm. Is there anything that you miss, though?
I miss my friends. I miss my friends from France. Like, I really do miss them because it's, we had a lot in common and we could share a lot. And it was easy to just send them a message or call them and say, hey, you want to hang out? And you didn't really know what you wanted to do. You just wanted to hang out. So the cliche was like, we're just going to walk. Let's just walk.
You just talk, right?
And you talk, and then you just sit down at a terrace, and then you have something to eat or something to drink, and then you just go somewhere, and then you call somebody else, and suddenly you realize that it's like 9 at night, and you're thinking, oh, let's go and grab dinner. It was something easy, which is not happening at all here. Yeah. It's just, if you want to see somebody, you have to say, let's meet this day. Let's meet, let's say, on Wednesday at 2:00, and at 2:35 I have to go, and that is, I find it frustrating, and it stresses me out because then I have the feeling it's an appointment.
Right.
So the magic is just sort of not there. And it's also difficult just to have American friends. But I think it's just pretty much the same everywhere. I'm sure that somebody that is not from France and that decides to live in France, I'm sure that person is going to have difficulties finding French friends as well, because, everybody has their lives. They have to deal with their problems, with their everyday routine. And, they already have their circle. Exactly. So you have to be patient, and you have to try things out, and little by little you just end up meeting people. But I think it takes a long time, because I remember when we were in Ireland, having Irish friends was also really hard. So we had friends from all over the place. Lots of Germans, actually.
Oh yeah.
We were talking about our friends back in Ireland with Alex, my husband, the other day, and that's what we were saying. We were saying, having German friends is so easy. And we were thinking, we have so many German friends.
Yeah.
Anywhere we've been, we've always met our German people, and they were always so easy to deal with and to hang out.
Oh, but you know what? I also always love hanging out with a friend.
Oh, but there you go.
Yeah.
There has to be something.
I don't know. It was always some of our best friends in the US also French. I don't know. It was just an instant connection.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's so easy. Yeah, it's very easy and natural. That's the yeah. So I guess it's the same everywhere. And before Ireland, I was living in England, and it was pretty much the same. It was a bit hard just to have English friends, but having international friends was easy. So it's the same.
I always wonder, maybe it's also because you don't share the same language. Because you are communicating in English as a second language.
I think so. I think that has something to do with that. And I think that has something to do with, you don't have many friends, so you are open to understanding other cultures. You are open to speaking with other people wherever they are, whatever their background.
Yeah.
And
maybe everybody knows, like, oh yeah, she's desperate for friends.
I know, right? Oh, she looks desperate. Let's go and talk to her.
Because Americans are so nice, they always like talk to you no matter what. They love the small
Yeah,
talk, so
they are so good at it. I'm bad.
yeah.
I think I'm
Yeah.
getting better, but at first, when we would go to a supermarket and somebody was talking to me, I would just give them my Parisian face, which is not pleasant because
Okay.
I was
It's
just
like, don't.
thinking, what the hell is wrong with that person? Why are you talking to me? And then my husband was like, you gotta be nice.
Oh, yeah.
They can see that you're puzzled.
Yeah.
So yeah, and so what was funny was last time when I was back in France, I had a massive cultural shock.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So how was it?
I
What was it?
I thought
Like,
everybody was so rude.
yeah, there you go.
Especially like with my very good friend, we went to a restaurant. I wanted to go back to Montmartre. Big cliche, because I hadn't been in over 15 years. And I told her, I said, I'm in that ratatouille kind of mood.
Okay.
I
Okay.
need to have that big Parisian cliche because I need to understand what people see in Paris that I have never seen, because I really don't like Paris. I just, because when you live there, it's very different from when you
Right.
just
Visit.
visit. But I wanted to go back to Montmartre, and she said, oh my god, yes, this is going to be so cliche, this is going to be great, here we go. So we decide we're just going to walk and we'll see where the wind takes us. And at some point we got really hungry, and so we tried to go to a quote French restaurant. The waiter was so rude. We just had to leave because basically he was annoyed at us asking if we could eat. Because no, I have other thing to do.
It's like, don't come here. I don't want business.
Yes, no, it's not the time. Okay. So we went next door, and it was an Australian restaurant. And we had the best time.
They were friendly there?
Yeah, and I was telling my friend, I was like, oh, I'm starting to understand why some people say that. Maybe, sometimes the French have a bad reputation with, So, yeah. And I was, just wanted to talk to people when I liked what they were wearing. I just wanted to tell them, I love your shoes, or, oh my gosh, I love what you're wearing. And I did it. And I only did it once because I could tell.
It's like they were puzzled.
They were puzzled.
Yeah. So you were totally Americanized there.
I guess so.
How is it then for you, the difference living in DC or like outside of DC versus France?
I would say the first thing that I have noticed is the amount of nature that I can get here.
That's
it's
nice.
So green. Nature's everywhere, and nature is absolutely breathtaking, fantastic, amazing. And every day I look at it and I'm thinking, I am so lucky. And every day I'm thinking, wow, I didn't used to see that many trees, or I didn't used to have the possibility to go to so many parks, national parks before.
Right.
So the amount of nature is so good here. I just love it. And then I'd say DC it's a very quiet place. I'd say it's quiet compared to Paris. I'd say Paris is more like New York.
Okay.
Probably, yeah. DC can get noisy, but I don't know. I just find it quiet.
Okay. I have never been there. I just imagine a lot of business people there and politicians and lawyers.
Yeah, lots of politicians, lots of lawyers, but it's also a lot of museums. It's very large avenues, really big buildings, beautiful architecture.
Mm-hmm.
Um, really, really good bookstores. Really good bookstores.
Yeah, you got married in one. Yeah.
Yeah, outside DC,
Uh-huh.
but yeah. And yeah, I really like that place. I really, really like it. And then outside DC, I'd say, yeah, just nature, nature, nature. And big difference is the amount of sidewalk. Sometimes it's hard to walk here
In the US.
in the US. And
Yes.
that drives me completely nuts because I'm a walker. I just like to go from point A to point B using
Mm-hmm.
my feet.
Yeah.
Um, and so we are starting to look at a place to buy here.
Uh-huh.
We don't really know where exactly, but I told my husband my first criteria is to be somewhere where I can walk. Like
Where you
there,
have a sidewalk.
yes,
Yes.
that's what I want.
I, I know, but I 100% understand you. We have sidewalks, but it's not a given. And before I moved here, I'm
Yeah.
in Texas outside of Austin.
Okay.
And before that, I was in California. We always had sidewalks as
Uh-huh.
well. It was kind of the European vibe in the Bay
Right.
Area. But it was the first time that we didn't have sidewalks here. And I was like, is this even possible?
Yes.
You know?
Right?
It's like, where are they? Why are they
Yes.
not? I
Yes.
couldn't even understand it.
Listen, the first time that I saw a city that didn't have sidewalks, it was in Maryland.
Mhm.
And it's a new kind of town. I think it was built in the 60s or 70s. It's called Columbia, and it's supposed to be one of the best places to live in the States.
Okay.
For me, it was complete nightmare
Mm.
because there was no sidewalk.
Mhm.
If you didn't have a car,
You're lost.
yeah.
Yeah.
And there was no downtown per se.
Mhm.
It was just construction and oh, you're gonna find something here and oh, you're gonna find something over there, and I just could not understand it, and it
Uh-huh.
was driving me crazy. And I every single time I had to go and visit my husband when he was living there, I would go into depression after the second day.
I understand. It sounds like where we live. It's like, I mean, like, also it's considered like such a nice place to live.
Mhm.
And every time I'm like, you cannot walk anywhere.
Mm.
Like if you want to do something, you have to drive to a strip
Yeah.
mall.
Yeah.
It's like everything is about the strip malls.
Yeah.
It's like there's nothing like no like nice
Mhm.
downtown area where
Mhm.
it's worth strolling through.
Yeah. I feel your pain.
Yeah.
Well, it's not that bad here. I mean, it's a new town. It was built in the 60s, but it was built by hippies. And so
Oh.
they wanted paths and they
Mhm.
wanted people to be able to hang out. And so
Mhm.
the whole vibe of that city is changing now because of the amount of construction that's going
Right.
on. Honestly, I think in 10 years' time, it will look like New York.
Uh-huh.
But so I
Oh,
think
wow, okay.
that's why I think it's time for us just to move
Okay,
out.
to move.
But thank God, there's lots of paths, and I can find sidewalk. Not as much as I would want to, but I can still walk around. There's a sort of downtown, which is tiny, but still I can walk there. And yeah, thank God for those paths, though, and thank God for those trees. And
but you are kind of you're gonna stay in that area.
Yeah, because of his job, we cannot go too far. But yeah, it's so expensive where we are. I mean, the prices are going through the roof, and I mean, so I will see what we can buy. I mean, I guess this is something very European as well, but I don't need a big house. I don't see the point of having such a huge house, and I'm thinking about paying the bills and just
cleaning.
Yeah, I don't, we don't need that much
Somebody,
space.
yeah.
Yeah. And we're not into having something super new and having granite countertops, and I
Uh-huh.
really don't care.
Yeah.
I don't like open kitchens, and
Right.
I'm like really European for that.
Mm-hmm.
Like my dream house would be a sort of English house, so kind of small. Every space has one particular function,
Mm-hmm.
and that's great.
Yep. Yep. So nothing
Nothing
goes to waste.
exactly.
Yeah.
So we'll see what we can find.
Yeah, that I mean that's tough. At the moment, I mean now it's like also not the good time for buying
Yeah,
just because of the interest rate.
exactly. But
Yeah, but
we're
maybe
just
in a
looking around.
year. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's also why I want to sell my place in Paris, so
Right.
I can get that money back, and then it gives us, the
A
you know,
good start. Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. When you got married, you already like in the US so many times.
Hmm.
Was it hard for you to settle in though? Because I mean, just because it's different than to
Yeah,
live there
yeah,
than just to visit.
that's true. Yeah, you know what? It was not that easy, and it's still not that easy. It's okay. So on the one hand, I totally feel at home here. Like I feel I'm where I'm supposed to be. I love where I am, but it's not easy. It's not easy to leave everything behind when you're in your 40s. It's
Mm,
and as you said, it's completely different when you come to a place and you're on holiday mood and
mm,
holiday mode, and everything is so nice, and you just hang out and you see people for a few weeks than when you actually are in one place all the time. It's completely different. The hardest for me was not having friends that I could see that
mm-hmm.
much, just because everybody has, as I said, everybody has their own lives.
And also, your husband moved around a lot, so he did not have a big friend circle in that area.
He
That's just
he does have friends, but
yeah.
I mean, they're very geeky.
I hope they don't listen to this.
Yeah, I won't tell them.
Uh-huh, okay.
And
So they're not like your people, kind
well,
of.
I like hanging out with them sometimes,
Uh-huh.
but I don't think we have much in common. They
Mm.
are really into games
Ah.
or, stuff like that. Like, yeah, geeky, right?
Uh-huh.
Uh, I'm not. I mean, I'm happy that they like it, that they like games, but, I mean, it's okay. Um, it's, I miss my sit down dinners with my friends, and I miss
Mm.
talking about politics. I miss cooking 5 or 6 dishes and people appreciating, and not people telling me I need to be done in 10 minutes. I cannot stay
Right.
at the table. I don't want to talk about politics. I don't want, like,
Right.
because then I have no idea what to talk about. And
Mm.
it's great to talk about football or baseball or talk about a game, but after 5 minutes, I have nothing else to say.
Right.
So that's what I miss the most, probably. Um, yeah, having those easy conversations with my friends back home, or my German friends that live either in. or Switzerland, or.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what I miss the most. I
Mm.
don't miss the food at all, strangely enough.
Do you make it yourself?
Yeah, I'm making myself pretty much everything I'm looking for I can find here. And I think it's because I'm very lucky where I live. Um, I think DC is full of Europeans,
Right.
and around DC, it's like there's lots and lots of Europeans, and so it's easy to find pretty much everything you
Yeah.
want.
Yeah. I feel it also gets easier with
I
time.
think so. Yeah.
When I first moved to the US, it's like um 2008.
Oh, it
It was
must have
like
been
something,
different.
yeah, it was like super special if you like
Mm,
found something. But now I go to the supermarket and
mm-mm.
they even have like a German aisle. And
Mm-hmm.
also, like, after a time, I feel you,
Your
mm,
taste
you
changes as well, no?
yes, and you don't miss certain
Yeah,
things anymore. It's
yeah,
like, oh, yeah, sure, I found something else that is similar that I can
yeah.
use.
Yeah, and I'd say you also discover new ingredients. You discover
Yeah,
maybe new veggies, new fruits, whatever, new recipes, and you
yeah,
actually truly enjoy those new things.
yeah,
So
exactly.
I really don't miss my French food at all. If I miss it, I make it, and you know, yeah,
It's more the thing that comes with the food,
yeah,
the surrounding,
yeah,
the
yeah,
conversation,
yeah.
and
The
you
yeah,
being
exactly.
together. Yes.
Yeah.
And is there still something that totally throws you off culturally in the US? I don't know, something that you can't get used to?
It's not that I can't get used to it, it's that I don't really get it. It's the American humor. I
Mm.
I yeah, it doesn't make me laugh
Oh,
most of
okay.
the time, so it's still hard for me to just laugh at a lot of jokes or
Mm.
I just I don't really get it. And I think that probably my humor is seen as rude by a lot of locals.
Ah, okay.
Um because I can be quite blunt sometimes, and
Okay.
I guess that's something either European or French, or I don't know, but yeah, I'd say American humor is still really hard for me to just
Okay.
appreciate,
Mm-hmm.
and something that throws me off. Yeah.
Mm. There's like this French comedian.
Mm-hmm.
He tries to make it in the US and he used his same jokes.
Oh, Gad Elmaleh.
Was it him?
Yeah,
I don't remember his name, but I heard his story and it's like the jokes did not land.
I
People did
know.
not think he was funny.
Yeah, and that's Gad Elmaleh, and I kid you not, I watched one of his shows here in the States, and I
Uh-huh.
thought it was
Okay.
hilarious.
Oh, really? See? Yeah.
Yeah, so it's I think humor is something very cultural, like really. And some of his references were so French centered that I am not surprised that these jokes just didn't work at all.
Uh,
And it must have been so interesting for him and frustrating and puzzling
yeah.
for him to suddenly discover, hey, I'm not funny everywhere. I can be
Yeah.
funny back home because people actually get it, but elsewhere I'm not that funny. I think that French Canadians are actually really good at understanding French humor, understanding American humor. I think they're
Mhm.
really good at that.
Okay.
And I think it's just because they have that well, they're very close to the US, so I think they're used to
Right, maybe, yes.
watching a lot of American movies, seeing a lot of American comedians, listening to shows, following a lot of American comedians. So they're used to that humor, but a lot of them also go to France, have something with France, have a link with France.
Mhm. Yeah.
And I think they can sort of navigate between those two cultures really well.
Okay.
But yes, Gad Elmaleh. Yeah, I remember that.
I also had like a few guests here on my podcast that also had always like trouble with humors, different kind of humors from
Hmm.
wherever they moved to.
Yeah,
So it's the
I'm
thing,
sure it's
yeah.
something that that's more common than what we
Yeah.
think. Yeah,
Yeah. For me it's sarcasm. Like I'm very
I
sarcastic,
love
but I think
sarcasm,
but I
but
think people don't they
yeah,
take it literally.
yes, yes,
so
yes,
so it's like,
yeah,
no, don't take it literally. I mean, I'm not that mean.
yeah,
I
yeah,
don't mean it that way.
yeah. You know what? I used to be much more sarcastic before, and I'm
Uh-huh, okay.
trying to avoid it as much as I can because
Yeah.
just like you, I could tell that people were getting hurt when in reality, it's, take it with a grain of salt. It's
Yeah.
humor. But yeah, no, and I had people telling me it's not funny. So, okay, if it's not funny, I won't do it anymore. So, what I do
Mhm.
is I tell my little joke in my head.
Right, yeah.
And, I'm
Okay.
laughing with myself. And that's pretty much it. But yes, it seems that a lot of people here do not deal with sarcasm well. And I think the French and the Germans are very good with sarcasm and
Yeah.
really dry humor.
Yeah, dry humor, yeah. Was there ever a question of moving back to France with your husband?
For the moment, not at all.
Mm-hmm.
We have no intention of moving back to France at all for the moment. We'll see in the future, but honestly, no. And we were thinking if we have to go back to Europe, probably we would go to Norway or
Okay,
just
somewhere
yeah,
else.
somewhere else. No intention for the moment. That's why I'm not considering myself an expat, but just an immigrant. I'm just
Mm,
an immigrant in the States, and I'm trying to fit in, and I'm trying to become a local as much as I can and
mm-hmm, yeah.
appreciate what I have. And I'm very lucky where I am again, and I'm really, really happy here in
Mm-hmm.
the States. This is not a country that's perfect, but you have to enjoy what that country can bring you and what
Mm-hmm.
you can do in return. And I'm very happy in the States. So no, I mean, for his job he has to be in the States, and
Right.
I'm quite happy here, I'd say.
Okay, that's great. That sounds really nice, actually. I mean, we all want to be at a place where we really like, right? Yeah.
Yeah. And I didn't really like where I was in Paris, and so I'm happy now when I go back and I can be a tourist and truly appreciate it,
Mm-hmm.
knowing that I'm just not gonna stay there.
Yeah.
This
And you,
is luxury to me.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And how often have you been back?
I'd say 3 or 4 times.
Oh, okay, quite
Yeah.
often.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, 3 or 4 times. I'm always very happy to go back, and I'm always very happy just to take my plane back home, which is here now in
Mm-hmm.
the States. So, yeah.
Okay, I'm so glad you like it here.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot.
Yes, that was this week's episode with Rachel. It was so nice to hear her story. It was really a really interesting chat, I think. So, if there are any city planners who are in the US who are listening to this podcast, then please develop more cities with sidewalks. It's so important. And yeah, you can follow Rachel on Instagram. Her Instagram account is Fine Arts RLF. You find it also in the show notes. And if you want to reach out to me, please write me an email. It's worldscollide123pod@gmail.com. Or you can also find me on Instagram. It's worldscollidepod, one word. And yeah, if you like this show, please leave a good review so this podcast can reach more people. That would be great. And I hope you tune in again next week. Until then, have a nice week and thanks for listening. Bye.